What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, September 22nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We're coming off a good day, made money, but it could have been a great day. 4 wins, 3 losses, plus 1.45 units. We started off with a loser in the KC Cleveland over. Got the feeling I was on the wrong side when the market went up to 9.5 and then quickly back down to 9, even though the wind was blowing out heavy. Tigers' first 5 was a push, but they cashed full game. Irritating. Cleveland Indians' first 5 minus a half was an easy casher. Pirates' first 5 plus 170. I mean, Molly and Mitch Keller, I mean, they're just perfect pitchers for gamblers. Plus 170 casher. Rockies' first 5 pushed, but they were up 2-0 going to the 5th. Astros' first 5 minus 1 was a walk in the park. Nationals' first 5 plus 130 lost, but they cashed the full game. Mets' first 5 at plus 120 lost, but they were up 2-1 going into the 5th. And Dodgers, Colorado, first 5 under 6 cashed. It could have been a giant day. What I take from it is that we're seeing things clearly. We're capping sharp. And I was unfortunate not to have a giant day, but still 4-3 plus 1.45 units. We're on our way back to the black overall on the year. 330 wins, 301 losses, 52.3%, down 6.12 units. ROI down 0.97%. Average line now minus 110. Average line down to minus 110. We've had a lot of dogs over the last little bit, so nice to see that VIG come down. Shout out to everybody joining us. It is great to see you all on this Wednesday morning. We have a postponement in the White Sox-Tigers game. I don't know what's going to happen with this Pirates-Reds game. There are a few spots where weather is an issue, but it's great to see everybody. Viper MB in the house. Brian Watson ready to get to work. Rob Garvey says, starting today until Saturday, I'll be in AC. Need to make enough for a 7-night trip to Costa Rica. I love it, Rob Garvey. And the boys are coming to AC as well. Domi Gunrichi, Tease, a bunch of low baggers are going to be in Atlantic City. And I think they get in, at least for sure, on Saturday. Rob Garvey going to make enough money for a 7-night trip to Costa Rica. I love it. There's Henry Dice, Matty Ice in the house. K-Ray De Niro ready to eat. And Matty Ice is in the taint play of the day, is in Bueller over 5.5 Ks at minus 115. We have a special guest, Nolly Knows. I'd like to make regular routines of when guests are on. And last week we had Nolly Knows on Wednesday and Friday, and I loved it. So he's going to be back this Wednesday and Friday again. And he's got his best bets. Now, one of his best bets was the White Sox-Tigers game that's being postponed. But we closed the show up with this spot. And it does correlate with my action, Maddie, because I am on the first 5 under 5.5 at minus 110. So it makes me happy to see that Taint is on Bueller over 5.5 Ks. Says last time in Colorado, Bueller struck out 8 batters. He only has to get 6 today to cash this. Rockies just struck out 11 times yesterday. Love the value here. That is from our Matty Ice. Sweet. Hey. All right, we are rolling. Brian Watson in the house. R says Velasquez pitching over Gamer Giants money line. I mean, do you trust Scott Kazmir? I know he's only going to be in there for an inning or two, but whom do you trust? Have you seen a Giants game with a 9.5 total all year? Sammy Comer says Giants team total over 4.5. So Sammy Comer's play of the day is in on the Giants team total over 4.5 at Pinnacle. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Don't forget to check out Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show tonight at 7:30 p.m. Let me just copy and paste this spot here for the Giants game. So that will be the last game we cap before Nolly Knows gets on the scene. So the order is a little different today. There's Schnizzle ready to go. Nut Flush Allen, our resident San Francisco Giants expert. Curious to what he thinks about this game here. Real Deal Prime says Jays cashed. Great job. Fat Wallace is coming over from playing and watching Hong Kong races where I can get a double bacon cheeseburger combo meal with winnings. No rum nor fuming. I love it. David Summers in the house. Steve Hendren, Hoops 590. Pierre Swartas, Gregory Ruiz, Nasty Nate. Hoops 590 was on our NFL show as well last night. It was a great show. I'm feeling very good. Obviously, it's easy to say that when you're 21-8 to start the year, but I feel good about it. Ron Crawford, busy at work, can't stay. Spreadsheet play of the day is the Dodgers. Let's get that locked in and copied and pasted. Nice job, Pierre Suarez. 6-2 on picks yesterday. Spreadsheet play of the day is the LA Dodgers. So we got a lot of action on that game. And we know Nolly Knows is going to be on that game as well. So we have the taint play of the day. And we have myself on the first 5 under 5.5. And we have the spreadsheet play of the day from our very own Ron Crawford. Sorry, that's me milking the cow. Let's go back to that. Oh, yes, lechery. Fucking lechery. That's what I've been doing if you've been watching me last month. Be fucking eating, man. If I can stick like this for a long period of time, get myself out of this fucking one-bedroom apartment in Parkdale, which would be nice. Okay, let's keep rolling. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. I feel good. I feel really good. We're capping clearly. We're working hard. We're sharing angles. Lou Chase Fox in the house. Cardis, Twins, Astros were all money yesterday. Reds continue to suck. Hey, man, I love that the Reds suck, man. Plus 170 on that first 5. Shabam, bam. Gregory Ruiz ready to go. Slatsy 3-0 in MLB last night, including cards plus 175. Thanks for the Pirates. Fuck yeah, Slatsy was fucking thing of beauty. Right back on cards plus 115 with Mets, Red Sox under 9 at plus 105 and tailing. Tank, baby. Great to see you, Slatsy. All right, it's time to get to work. There's R coming from Regent Park. We got Slick, Rick, the Ruler, Michael Irvalina ready to go. TJ play today is in Miami, Washington, over 7.5 from our man TJ. Let me get this here. Sorry, TJ play of the day. Jesus, where the hell is it? There it is. Sorry, I'm way behind on the comments, and we got to make moves. Says over 7.5 has moved to 8 since tweeting it out. Still like it. That's the Marlins Nat spot here, and that's a Nolly Knows game, TJ. So you can imagine what our expectations of Nolly is in that game. Gerardo Hernandez ready to go. David Summers, Mark Schillingberg, top set 4-0 in MLB, 16-3 run. I knew that was going to happen, man. Top set, you sharp. Lou Chase Fox says Astros roll again. That was too easy. Probably should have doubled up on that spot. All right, it is time to get to work. J-Dub, Nikolai Jubinski, who we got to hang out with in Miami in the Low Bag Summit of Champions. Michael Irvalina says, can't believe those first 5 blew for you, Jimmy. That was gross. Yeah, I was, it's okay. Wyatt Chapman says, Bag, you like Pirates first 5. We are going to break that game down first. But I tell you what, with the rain being an issue, I certainly wouldn't want to be on a favorite. And I wouldn't want to have an angle for a bet that includes either Overton or Castillo pitching well, because we don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know what the hell's going on with the rain, and so it's there's a lot of it's a tricky spot. All right, we got to go. Von Polo, Robert Cherry. Robert Cherry says ready to cap some shit. He's 22-13 Pepper Pot play today. Zach Wheeler under 7.5 Ks. Under 7.5 Ks for the Pamper Pop play of the day. Where is it? Here we go. Sorry, this will just take 1 second. Pamper Pop. And he's on Bueller's over 5.5. Oh, sorry. He says, scratch that. I'm backing Mighty Ice on the Bueller over 5.5 Ks for Pamper Pop. Okay. Switching over to Bueller 5.5 Ks. All right. We got to get to work. Right now. So thank you guys all for joining us. Christopher Carter, Brian Watson, Serious Business, Nathaniel Montoya. I do care so much about giving you guys a shout out because we know why this show is special, and it's because of you guys and because of the work we do all together. And that's why I make such a point of giving you guys shouts out, even though we should start. Print department ready to go. Miguel Vega. It's a great group. Big Daddy Boom, aka Leon Bon Qui. Thank you guys all for joining us. It is time to get to work. Nilo coming to us on our Twitter feeds. This is Prince of Parkdale. I don't know about that shit, man. There's no Prince of Parkdale. There's a lot of jesters and homeless, but no Prince. All right, let's get to work right now. We got Jose on the ones and twos. He was smiling a lot yesterday on the show, which he's allowed to. Look, he's plus units. But he tossed us an L. And we'll see. Maybe he'll be more serious. Maybe he'll just be smiling. I'm very interested to see Jose. Jose will be breaking down the Mets-Red Sox game. He's back with Mets-Red Sox. All right, let's get to work. We start with this game that pops off in an hour and 20 minutes. 12:35 p.m. Eastern. We think rain is in the forecast. 58 Fahrenheit, 12 miles per hour to right. Maybe you guys have a better update whether this game will go or not. Pirates 57-94, 23-53 on the road. These Reds 78-74, 40-36 at home, right? Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We talked about Connor Overton. The Jays gave him up for nothing, and he has not allowed a run this year. Now, it's only 11 2/3 combined with the Jays and the Pirates, 9 Ks, 3 walks, but 11 2/3 without allowing a run. His last start was August 16th. His last appearance was 2 days ago. So he's not going to be going more than an inning or two if this game goes. In his last appearance 2 days ago, he went 1 inning, didn't allow a hit, didn't allow a walk, struck out 1. In his last start versus the Reds, he went 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. So this will be the third straight time he's facing the Cincinnati Reds, even though it'll be a short stint. Going up against Luis Castillo, 8-15, 4.08 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, a wild win-loss record for a winning baseball team, 8-15. 181 Ks and 176 in the third. His last start was his best of the season. We knew it was in there. We knew it's in him. 6 in the third, 5 hits, no earned runs. 2 walks, 10 Ks, and a 3-1 win at home versus the Dodgers. He outpitched Walker Buehler there. It was very, very impressive. At home, he's been good this year, and that's not been the same with a lot of his rotation. They've been struggling at home and great on the road. But he's been good at home. 6-7, 3.19 ERA, 2.49 opponent's batting average. On the road, 2-8, 5.08 ERA, 2.59 opponent's batting average. Pirates last 30 days versus righties, they're not hitting them. 238, 690 OPS. That can be expected when you look at that lineup. It's the Reds lineup that's just ice cold. 236, 706 OPS. And they got some big bats in that lineup. Pirates bullpen and Reds bullpen last 30 days have been quite good. And we have Overton. Remember, Overton was not a highly thought of prospect. He didn't make his MLB debut until this year as a 28-year-old. All right, so let's make a move here. First, we're going to go over the market here. Again, we don't know if this game will go. If you go to RotoWire, it's in red, 61% chance of rain. The last thing you'd want to do, in my estimation, is back a big favorite when if they try to start the game on time, there could be a big break in weather. The only thing you want to do, to me, is you want to back a dog in this situation. But I want neither. Creo says Pirates bullpen day should be a fade, but I thought that last week or the week before and they did well. You know, Creo, it's funny, and I mentioned this last month or so, but my ROI when I fade bad bullpens on bullpen days is a losing one, which is wild, and that doesn't really make any sense, but it's something that I am now very cautious around. Okay, so let's go here. We have Castillo opening up at -230, he's now -253, a 23-cent move towards the Cincinnati Reds. And from a total standpoint, we open up at 8.5, juice to the over. It's now juiced to the under. Slick Rick says, I'm on the Reds run line here, -1.5, -125. Castillo's been great of late. Last start had a 6-inning shutout. Only way I can look here. Slick Rick, that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous because what if they start the game? I mean, let's look at the weather right now. But what if they try to start the game on time? What if they try to start the game on time and within, 30 minutes they have to shut it down? And then what happens with Castillo? You've lost him. And it's supposed to stop raining by 2 o'clock, but it starts raining again at 5 o'clock or before 5 o'clock. It's just very, very dangerous. And I don't think we should ever do it when there's rain in the forecast and we can't have our betting angle to be backing a pitcher who may only pitch or may be out of his routine for sure. And look, I would back Castillo. If this was nice weather, I think Castillo would have another great start for sure. But, consecutive home starts, everything lining up for him to pitch well, except for the weather. Let's go to baseball data here, and then we'll jump over to the market and see where the cash lies. But Overton against these guys, 1 for 11. He's been very good. Against Castillo, they're hitting .267 with a .697 OPS. And then we move over to the cash. And here we go. We have 1,639 tickets in, 96% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the Reds, and then a 50-50 in the total. 50-50 in tickets, 51% of the money, cash on the under. So no need for me. Nutflush On says Giants team total over set at 4.5. Last 20 games are 13-7. Now versus the Padres, they have to beat that number. They have beat that number 4 out of 5 times. Vince Velasquez walks a lot of batters, and Giants are disciplined. Again, pedal down. That makes a ton of sense to me. The team total over. And maybe we should just back the Giants even with Kazmir starting. I mean, Kazmir will just be there for an inning. And, I mean, it's a great story, but he's a hard guy to trust here. So that will be the last game of my breakdowns. And Sammy Culmer, that's his play of the day. So Sammy Culmer and our resident San Francisco Giants expert on the same thing. Okay, let's move on. And let me just backtrack a little bit, Slick Rick. In a regular situation, I would completely agree with you, especially with how good the Reds bullpen has been. But with the rain, the last thing you want is your pitcher to be pulled after an inning. So we move on. The next spot in the Pirates-White Sox game has been postponed. So we move on to 3:10 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays 85-66, 42-35 on the road at Tampa Bay Rays 93-59, 48-29 at home. We're at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have Julian Merriweather as a bullpen day for the Jays. He dealt with this oblique injury all year, suffered setback after setback. We were waiting for him, expecting him to be a real big piece of our bullpen. He's now up. So he's only throwing 7 1/3, but he's a pitcher that the Jays trust. Is he in peak form? I don't think it's possible that he could be in peak form. He has 7 Ks and 7 1/3 with 3 walks, but he has allowed 2 home runs in that 7 1/3, going up against the 21-year-old fireballer Luis Patino. And Slick Rick says, great info, Jimmy. This is why we kept together. Absolutely. This is why we succeed, because where 200 heads are better than one. And it has been working. It has been working. There's Birdie in the house, says Tua has fractured ribs after all, so is out this weekend. That's Birdie coming to us saying Tua has fractured ribs after all. Okay. Real Deal Prime says we got the bats. There's no doubt about that. Luis Patino, though, very interesting splits. On the year, he's 4-3 with a 4.73 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 69 Ks and 70 1/3, 28 walks, 12 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 4 Ks and 7-4 win at home. Versus Detroit next innings, he hasn't looked very good. He still shows flashes that potential why he's expected to be a star pitcher in this league. But his splits are wild. At home, he's quite good. 3-2, 3.38 ERA, 2.27 opponent's batting average. On the road, 1-1, 6.53 ERA, 2.66 opponent's batting average. Joe Chris saying, and there's Peter Loshak in the house that's got some low-hanging fruit stuff today, in my opinion. We can't wait to hear it. Pistol Pete Loshak and Joe Chris, Royals, Indians over the number. Don't think we didn't notice your excellent call on the over 8 yesterday. You and Eddie Euler were on that over 8. Great job. Real Deal Prime says, let's go Patino. Nightmares for you, son. I love it, Real Deal Prime. Jays versus righties last 30 days, 266, 810 OPS. Rays versus righties last 30 days, 235, 726 OPS. The Jays bullpen has really got their shit together after a really rough month and a half or 2 months. They've been very good over the last 30 days, 3.25 ERA. Rays bullpen has not been as good. Even though they've been very good all year, they have not been as good. Let's grab Peter Loshak's low-hanging fruit here. Copy and paste that. Cubs first half team total under 1.5. Washington, Miami first half over 4. Diamondbacks first half team total over 1.5. And Philly first half team total over 2.5 from the legend Pistol Pete Loshak. I'm going to put that right above today's schedule. There it is. Thank you for sharing that with us, Pete. And Lou Chase Fox has faded the Dolphins. They are a mess without Tua. Okay, so there is your Jays Tampa. So we'll go over to baseball data. I don't think it would be much of a help. Against Merriweather, he's seen 5 at-bats against Rays. They haven't got a hit off them. They have a walk. Against Patino, the Jays are just 7 for 32 with a double and a home run. The home run hit by George Springer. So let's take a look at the market in this spot. This total opened up under 9 at minus 111. It's now under 9 at minus 115. A 4-cent move towards the under. And the Rays have gone from minus 118 to minus 113. And in a playoff type game here, with the best pieces of the bullpen expected to be in here, while the Jays need a win, and Luis Patino has been good at home, the Rays bullpen hasn't been great, but you have to feel like this under 9 in a, like when Nolly Knows talks about an NL playoff game, and I know the American League playoff games are very different, and he likes the unders in these NL, but it just feels like the Rays are sort of an NL-type team, and this is a huge game with major implications. And we have 41% of the tickets on the under, but 92% of the cash. We also have 60% of the tickets on the Rays and 55% of cash. After breaking this down, this is an enormously important baseball game. And I want the under 9 in it. Under 9 is my first edition. By the way, I have made 3 bets before this show started. We will go. I'll just tell you them right now so you have them. I took the Red Sox first 5 minus a half. That was expensive, minus 135. I took the Twinkies Cubs first 5 under 3.5 at minus 120, and the Dodgers Rockies first 5 under 5 and a half. All right, let's go. Real Deal Prime says stats out the window. This is a wild card race. Jays are hot. Bet the hot team this playoffs. And Eric Jones says no, Jim. Okay. About what? About what, Eric? Okay, so I'm locked in there. I'm on the under 9 at Tropicana. Slats 45 says if Ross Stripling is pitching here, you can't do that under. This bullpen has been very good of late. And I will trust them. I will trust them here. We move, and it looks like it's where the sharp money lies. A 4-cent move. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if when I go to bet this after the show, it's an 8.5 and I have to stay off of it. You see, clearly big bets are coming in on the under. I like this is a playoff type game. There's a lot of emotion in this spot. Eric Jones says under no, and Sean Thompson is on the over 9. So we got overs. I like it. I like this spot. And we'll see. Real Deal Prime says, trust the Jays and smile to the bank. That is the second game on the card. Let's keep rolling again. We have NCAA football. We have CFL football, both at the end of the show. We have Nolly Knows with 3 best bets in baseball and then 2 best bets on the Friday NCAA football cards. We got a lot of action today. Thank you for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. Next up, 6:10 p.m. Eastern, Kansas City Royals at Cleveland Indians Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 67 Fahrenheit rain, 60 miles per hour in. We've already heard our man Schnizzle say he does not expect this game to go because of the rain. He does not expect it to go. And let me know, Jose. If I think we're back, right? We're good back again. Okay, let me know. Sorry about that. I don't know what my camera's doing, kind of going in and out. Okay, Royals, Indians. Look, Carlos Hernandez, as our man TJ beautifully predicted, got touched violently in his last start. 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 walks, 3 Ks, and 12-10 loss at home versus Oakland. And it was a wake-up call for the big Venezuelan, whom I love dearly. And I would love to back him here. I would love nothing more than to back him here. Let's see if RotoWire thinks this game goes. 79% chance of rain. I do not. There's Arthur Meade Jr. in the house. Dennis Trusty says, I don't think it will go either. Henry Dice is on KC moneyline. The Royals bullpen has been very good, but I really want Carlos Hernandez to go up against Logan Allen. I don't want it to be a bullpen game. And Carlos Hernandez has been better on the road than he's been at home. On the road, 3-0, 2.60 ERA, 175 opponent's batting average. Logan Allen has been bad all year. He went down to the minors. He came up and he had 1 good start, but he's looking poor again. And I want the Royals. Look, if this game has any chance of going, the Royals versus lefties last 30 days, 289 with 796 OPS. Indians versus righties last 30 days, just 232, 677 OPS. Royals bullpen last 30 days, 3.14 ERA. Every single part of this ball game, the Royals have an advantage over the Indians, but I don't think this game goes, so I don't want to hum and haw over it. The total opened at 9. It's now down to 8.5. The Royals are sitting at -115. The Blue Balls pick of the day is in Phillies team total over 5. Slatsy says, can you squeeze in Kansas City first 5? I've left money on the table kind of letting these things go. And this is a situation where it could be leaving money on the table because I think Kansas City Royals have an advantage in every facet of this game. But I can't move on it. Sean, what is happening? Great to see you. Arthur Meade Jr. on Cleveland team total under. I just don't see how this game will go. Let's take one last look at the weather for the day here at Kansas City. Kansas City weather. Right, Kansas City, Missouri. What the hell? It says it must not be in Kansas City. Sorry, it's in Cleveland. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? Sorry, Cleveland weather. So we have lightning, heavy thunderstorm at 2 p.m. This game's not going. Okay, let's just move on from it. It's too bad because everything kind of set up nicely for these Royals. We move on. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's the major weather issues that we have. I believe we can start rolling. Baltimore Orioles at Philadelphia Phillies. The Orioles are 48 and 103, 25 and 52 on the road, while these Phillies are 77 and 74, 43 and 33 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 75 Fahrenheit, overcast, 13 miles per hour out to left. Keegan Aiken on the hill for the Orioles. 2-10, 6.93 ERA, 1.61 WHIP, 89 and 2/3, 76 Ks, 39 walks, 17 home runs. His last start was not very good. He went up against Chris Sale. It was at Fenway against the Red Sox. He went 4 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. He is being bad everywhere, especially on the road. At home, he's being bad. On the road, he's being atrocious. 1-6, 7.71 ERA, 313 opponents batting average. Next, we have Zach Wheeler on the hill, 14 and 9, 2.83 ERA, 1.02 WHIP. Already hit the 200 inning barrier with 231 strikeouts and 43 walks, 16 home runs allowed. Dizzle says I was going to make that my play of the day for Shizzle. Schnizzle play of the day. He can't because it ain't going. Joe Chris says lean Phillies, no bet. Look, Zach Wheeler has been very good at home this year. 7 and 5, 2.43 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. He's coming off a good start at the Mets. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. The Orioles are hitting righties okay. Last 30 days, 237, 736 OPS. Phillies versus lefties, 252, 741 OPS. And both bullpens have been very bad. Now, the Orioles has been the worst bullpen in the league over the last 30 days, while the Phillies bullpen 5.13 ERA over those 30 days. Let's take a look at the baseball data and see if that leads us anywhere here. Against Wheeler, these Orioles are hitting 227 with a 579 OPS. It certainly feels like a Wheeler smash spot, but at what price? Is there going to be any kind of a risk-reward situation here? Let's see what we're dealing with Zach Wheeler. He opens up at -270. He's now at -311. I get it. 41-cent move on the Phillies. This total's gone from 8 to 8.5. How do you make money off of it? Jerry Beatty says Wheeler should rake this Orioles lineup. Eric Thomas says you like the first 5 under 5. I don't. I mean, Keegan Aiken could get touched here so easily. I've made 2 bets on the -2 line this year, and they've both been embarrassing losers for me. I just don't see it. Let's just take a look at what that would be, though. Just out of curiosity, let's see what that would be. The alternate line for the Phillies -2.5 is even money. -1.5 is -150. I mean, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. Olu in the house says, Mudasucka play of the day, La Stella or Belt total base prop. Thank you, Olu, my man. Josh Grant says, where do you get your lids? Size 8. Really, the size 8 is hard to find? I get my hats at Lids. We have a membership at Lids, so that's where I get all my stuff. But, I mean, a lot of these are old hats. I guess not many here. The hats I've had and that's a 2013 Super Bowl. I've had this hat for probably 15 years, 20 years. This is the 1980 World Series Phillies hat. I mean, The Whalers hat I've had for years. Okay. So Ryan Taylor says you make money by not betting. Tough game to find an angle. Do you really want to sit here on the -2? On the Phillies? No. I mean, and because we can't trust the Phillies bullpen. So that just doesn't make any sense there. The one thing you could do possibly is take a first 5 on the alternate line. We did that with the Astros on the -1 line yesterday instead of the -0.5. But even that, they're not really letting you because it's -200, -115. Look, I get it. We're leaving money on the table here. We're leaving money on the table here. TJ says such an insane advantage for the Phillies first 5 on the Phillies first 5 team total over. I guess what we could do. I guess the only thing if I break it down a little more, the only thing we could do is take the Phillies first 5 -1.5 at -115. That's the only thing that I would be willing to do, which I don't want to do. But Phillies first 5 -1.5 would be my first 5 -1.5 bet of the season. That doesn't sound awful to me, but let's move on and we'll talk about some more. Actually, why don't we just take a look at the cash flow here in this spot? We have 2,849 tickets in, 97% of the tickets, 96% of cash on the Phillies. Just watch their bullpen erupt and the books get rich off this spot. Then we have 58% of the tickets on the under and 98% of the cash on the under. That makes me not want to bet it. So Joshua Wilcox says, did Loshak hit every bet yesterday? He did not. And in fact, when I was looking back, I thought he had a giant day. But he had a very good day. But he didn't have a giant winning day. And I should start putting out how his day fares each day. But he cashed with the Indians first 5 -145. I mean, that was the easiest bet on the board for us. And then he lost with me on the Nats first 5 +135. That must have bothered him very, very much because they won the full game. Then next up for him, he lost on the Mets +122. Lost on the team total under 3.5 for the Twinkies. Cashed that first 5 under 6 in Dodgers Rockies. And did he cash that? Did he cash did that A's game go under? Yes, it did. So he cashed that under 9. Beautiful bet on the Mariners game. So yeah, he had a nice winning day. Nice winning day. Williams Fun Videos, that's an excellent question. But he has a job in Brooklyn. But that's an excellent question. We should ask him. Slick Rick says, don't do it, Jimmy. These Phillies can't hit. Okay, I think you're right, Slick Rick. That's why you're the ruler. But Keegan Aiken's awful. So we move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Now, I spent a lot of money here on Chris Sale, -135. And the market scared me into thinking that I've made a mistake here. We only have 970 tickets in, and I think I might have made a mistake. 95% of the tickets are on the Red Sox and 36% of the cash. The Mets are going to go to +145. So I would love to hear what Loshak thinks of Taijuan Walker here. This could have been a real mistake. Mets are 73-78, 29-45 on the road. Boston Red Sox 87-65, 48-29 at home. We're at Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. There's Sean Thompson on the Mets money line. 72 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways out to left. Taijuan Walker going up against Chris Sale. For me, Taijuan Walker's not been good on the road this year. He's been good at home, 4-4, 3.55 ERA, 206 opponents batting average, but not on the road, 3-6, 5.18 ERA, 246 opponents batting average. Last start, he looked good, 4-3 loss at home, went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, no walks, 3 Ks. We cashed the first 5 under. Going up against Chris Sale, 4-0, 2.40 ERA, 1.23 whip, 31 Ks in 30 innings, 6 walks, 5 home runs. He's getting that consecutive home start thing that Mike M and I really love backing. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 1 K in that 7-1 win at home versus the Orioles. The Mets are 247, but with no power against lefties, are 721 OPS, while the Red Sox are smashing righties, 274, 868 OPS. Both bullpens are about the same over the last 30 days, quite good. 3.82 ERA for the Mets, and the Red Sox are 3.80 ERA. I almost didn't bet this because the early numbers were coming in, and Clearly, you could tell that sharp money was on the New York Mets, and I almost stayed off of this spot. Against Taijuan Walker, these Red Sox are hitting 300 with a 964 OPS. Against Chris Sale, 248, 613 OPS. Look, the market is a dangerous place. And Sean Thompson, juicy price, not afraid of Sale at all. Sale's last start 5 days ago was against Keegan Aiken. I said the same thing. I said this is Orioles or no bet. And Orioles scored first, but Keegan Aiken became Keegan Aiken again, and they lost the first 5, I think 4-1 or something like that. Ulysses Hayes in the house. Great to see you, Ulysses. Joe Chris looking at under in the Red Sox Mets. So this could be a costly error. Let's just see what the market has done in this spot here. Sale opening up at minus 183 is now minus 166. Wow. Nothing I can do now. Ulysses had Boston money line, San Fran money line, St. Louis money line last night. Nice job. Real Deal Prime says those bats are going to look like the Jays. Boston hits for Chris on the mound. Not close. I agree, Real Deal Prime. They always seem to step up for Sale. And Ulysses Hayes saying take Tampa money line. I'm just going to take the under 9, and that's why. So there you have it. There's Mets, Red Sox. I'm on Sale. First 5, minus a half at minus 135. Let's move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins at Chicago Cubs. It makes me nervous that Nolly Knows is not on this first 5 under. It makes me nervous. I am on it. And let's just confirm that the wind is as ridiculous as it said it was going to be last night. Yes, 24 mile per hour wind in. 24 mile per hour wind in. I really thought they were going to hang a 3. When I saw 3.5, I was like, my goodness. We see what happens in Wrigley when the wind's blowing in like this. Every fly ball dies. And then you got Joe Ryan and Kyle Hendricks. Joe Ryan has looked awesome in his young career. 2.12 ERA, 0.53 up, 17 innings, 14 Ks, 2 walks. Guy's a monster. Last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 3-1 loss at home. Oh, my God. I just realized it right now. Shit. I just realized it right now. God, I'm sorry. I very little sleep, lots of capping, hard hours. But Mets Red Sox is not only a Red Sox first 5 minus a half for me, but it is also a say hey play. So let's see what he has to say about this spot. Please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet in the house. Jose, that's back-to-back days, man. I apologize.
It's fine. I'll keep it short and sweet. Chris Sale struck out 1 guy last time. He's not going to do that again. This is a banger play for me again. I love doing Chris Sale strikeout props. It's over 6.5, I believe, plus money on Pinnacle. It's going to be a large bet for me. I love Chris Sale strikeout props. He hunts them usually. Last week he didn't. I feel like he kind of wanted to challenge himself a little bit. Didn't hunt the strikeouts against a shitty team. Still did well. He gets the strikeouts today. Chris Sale gets it done.
Chris Sale, and then he just fucks off. He's hurt. I've heard his feelings. Come. Oh, no. I've heard his feelings. Chris Sale over 6.5 Ks. Jose, what is the juice associated with your K prop?
That's a great question, Jimmy. Let me pull it up again. Yeah, I'm a little hurt, Jimmy. I'm a little hurt.
Sorry, dude.
You turn into a capping machine. You go blank. And then trying to communicate with you is a challenge, but it makes me laugh every time. But I love it. It's by the way, it's plus 113 on Pinnacle.
Ooh, a plus number. That does sound like right up your alley. Sale over 6.5 Ks at plus 113. Well, that correlates with my first 5 minus a half and minus 135. Can I ask you a question, Jose? Why do you think the market is moving towards the New York Mets in this spot?
That's a great question. I'm not absolutely sure. I would just guess it's early money. Like I said, I'm not sure. Like you said, the Red Sox always score for Chris Sale. I don't know why I'm still on here. I should be gone, but Red Sox score for Chris Sale. Taijuan Walker, good pitcher. They might see it as an under game, a close under game, where the bullpen blows up for the Red Sox. But I liked your first 5 price. I just think this is another way to bet a first 5 without having that pay that juicy price. I think he has a good start today. 6 innings, 10 Ks.
The Jack comes alive. I didn't pull Jose. He pulled himself. He's. I've heard his feelings. I apologize, Jose. I'll remember next time. But it has been about 24 hours of like just straight capping for me, with maybe 4 hours of sleep in between. Okay, we move on to that Twinkies Cubbies spot again. Jose, say hey. Play of the day is Sale over 6.5 Ks. Twinkies Cubs, Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. 61 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 24 miles per hour in. I talked about Joe Ryan. He's a monster. Kyle Hendricks has not been good this year. 14-6 is his win-loss record, but 4.81 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. He's allowed 29 home runs this year. His last start at the Phillies made me extremely angry. I had backed him, and the Cubs were up 6-0. 6-0 going into the bottom of the third. And I pushed that bet in an eventual 17-8 loss at the Phillies. At home, he's been worse than he is on the road. I'm almost not entirely sure why I am expecting. Oh, I guess it's just the wind, and he knows this park so well. Tyrone Coleman says Cubs full game over. 24 miles an hour. The wind is coming in. Twins versus righties last 30 days, 233, 721 OPS. Cubs are hitting righties much harder, 250, 778 OPS. The Twins bullpen's been excellent over the last 30 days, 3.26 ERA, but the Cubs bullpen's been poor. Other than that 6-week unbelievable run, they've been bad all season long. Let's take a look at the market move in this Cubbies spot. We have the Cubbies open up as minus 105 favorites. Wow. And that was very slight, minus 105, minus 103, the Pinnacle opening lines. And now it is minus 120 to the Minnesota Twins. A huge market move towards the Minnesota Twins and Jolton Joe Ryan. Let's take a look at the batter versus pitcher. Joe Ryan's faced 13 at-bats against these Cubbies. 2 for 13 against them. 1 homer from Frank the Tank Schwindel. And then against Hendricks, 188 with a 423 OPS. He just gets these guys out. I really like this spot. Under 3.5 at minus 120, but Nolly not being on it makes me uncomfortable. Let's see where the cash lies here. Chicago Cubs. Here we go. 1,424 tickets in. 49% of the tickets, 17% of the cash on the Cubs. So we've seen this big market move towards the under. 63% of tickets on the under and 34% of the cash. Makes me think that I'm on the wrong side here. TJ says the move is because Ryan is a fastball pitcher. Ryan Taylor says fade Cubs Twins play of the day. Fade Cubs Twins play of the day. And Eric Jones is on the under full game 7. I'm on the first 5 under 3.5 minus 120, and I'm very nervous. It looks like the big bets are coming in on the over. Let's move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 81-69, 39-36 on the road at Milwaukee Brewers 91-60, 42-34 at home. We're at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Roof closed, 61 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 17 miles per hour sideways. I expect the roof to be closed. It's cold and windy. Miles Michaelis going up against Brett Anderson. Miles Michaelis, in a very small sample size, has looked atrocious on the road. And I don't know how much we should put weight onto it. But 32 innings he's pitched this year. And on the road, 8.59 ERA, 371 opponent's batting average. At home, 1-2, 3.28 ERA, 218 opponent's batting average. Eric Jones is on the cards. Over. Daily dose of kale looking at Atlanta for a play of the day. Sean Thompson on the cards money line and the over 9. Going up against Brett Anderson, 4-8, 4.18 ERA, 1.34 whip, 88 in the third, 56 Ks, 26 walks, 9 home runs. In his last start, he managed to go through just 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 5-2 win at the Giants. At home, he's been good, very good. 1-3, 3.48 ERA, 258 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's been getting hit. 3-5, 4.79 ERA, 281 opponent's batting average. Cards are smashing lefties. There was a time earlier in the season when they were doing this, and we were backing them for huge gains. Cards versus lefties, 312, 988 OPS. Brewers versus righties last 30 days, 243, 723 OPS. Cards also have this bullpen advantage, 3.44 ERA over the last 30 days compared to the Brewers' 4.23 ERA. 4.23 ERA over the last 30. TJ's on St. Louis first 5 team total over and full game team total over. Feed me. So St. Louis crushing lefties. This is a gift. The Brewers open up at -117. They're now -129. A 12-cent move towards them, and this total's gone from 9.5 to 9, which leads me to believe they think that Brett Anderson, who's always been a very tricky cap for me, is going to have a good start. Let's move over to the baseball data. Against Brett Anderson, 321 with a 903 OPS. Why would there be a 12-cent move towards the Brewers here? The Cardinals, 293, 877 OPS. The Brewers against Miles Michaelis, 293, 877 OPS. The only thing that can tell me that I think is that Whack Prescott, it's Tuesdays that we have Loshak. Yeah, he does some Sundays with us. We want more of Loshak. We'd love to have more of Loshak. So let's move over to the cash flow. The Pimp Slap play of the day, St. Louis first 5 under 5 from Mike M. Pimp Slap play of the day that's running very, very hot right now. Let's copy and paste that. First 5 under 5 here in the Cards Brew Crew. Let's pop that right there. First 5 under 5. Let's see where the money lies, and then I will make a decision. 1,803 tickets in, 53% of the tickets, 27% of the cash on the Cardinals. We often see this with sharps. And we heard Gas Station Sushi say that, if you listen to Pete Rose says you back winning streaks, you bet winning streaks. But Gas Station does not agree with that. And I stopped talking about what happened the day before. Notice I haven't mentioned the Cardinals 110 story. I'm taking each game as an individual entity. We have 40% of the tickets on the over and 88% of the cash on the over. It does feel like the over would be the play, except this total's gone from 9.5 to 9. You know what? There's enough mixed messages for me here that I don't want to be involved in this baseball game. I don't know what to do with Michaelis. Don't want him on the road. And I'm going to not bet it. But the Pimp Slap play today, St. Louis, first 5 under 5. Michael Evelina says, I'm just riding Michaelis and the plus number on the Cards as they win down the stretch with the Brew Crew free. They don't care. And I'm going to TJ's on St. Louis, first 5 team total over and full game team total over. Feed me. And if the money was on the Cards and the Sharps were on the Cards, I would be right there with you. But I'm gonna stay off at this point. Okay. Let's go. Ulysses, sure. Let me know when to do that and what spots you are on. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Houston Astros at Los Angeles Angels. Astros are 90-61, 43-33 on the road. Angels 72-79, 38-39 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 86 Fahrenheit, clear 8 miles per hour, out to right center. The Astros were an easy bet yesterday. Are they here? Luis Garcia's 11-7, 3.37 ERA, 1.16 whip, 160 Ks and 144 in the third, 45 walks, 17 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 in the third, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 3 walks, 2 Ks, and 12-1 win at the Rangers. At home, lights out, 6-4, 2.19 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. On the road, it's been a little tougher for him, 5-3, 4.61 ERA, 258 opponents batting average. Jansen Junk on the other side. Junk, 25-year-old, 22nd round pick by the Yankees out of Seattle University. In Double-A between the Yankees and the Angels, he had nice numbers, 2.81 ERA, 1.10 whip, 97 Ks, 27 walks, 11 home runs. Last start at the White Sox in a tough spot against a team that rakes. He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, no walks, and 2 Ks. The Astros are hitting 285, 792 OPS versus righties right now. Angels just 226, 663 OPS. Daniel Ocean, what's happening? Thank you for joining us. Both bullpens have struggled over the last 30 days. Astros 4.06 ERA, Angels 5.18 ERA over their last 30 days. Astros, Angels, let's take a look at what the market is offering. Astros opened up at -205. They're now -192. 13-cent move towards the Angels. This total under 9.5 was -118. It's now -110. So an 8-cent move to this over. Let's go over to baseball data in this spot. Against Garcia, they're hitting 341 with a 1.058 OPS. Jared Walsh, 6 for 9 against Garcia with 2 doubles and 2 jacks. Interesting. 15 for 44 are the Angels with 3 doubles and 3 homers. And Ulysses Hayes is on Boston money line, St. Louis money line, Oakland money line, Tampa Bay money line, San Francisco money line for Ulysses Hayes. I'll put that right under Pistol Pete Loshak's action. There we go. Okay. Aaron, we are going to talk CFL, but that will be at the end of the show, unfortunately. And yes, I have a couple looks that I will be moving on, that I expect to move on. I just want to talk it out loud. Picasso, the Prophet in the house. What is happening, my guy? Okay, so let's move over to the cash. We've seen a small market move towards the over, and we've seen a small market move towards the Angels. Let's see if that correlates with the cash. 2,660 tickets in. 82% of the cash, 82% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the Astros, and yet there's a move to the Angels, which is perplexing. 70% of the tickets on the over and 81% of the cash on the over, and we see a move towards that. And I get that. Look, at this time of year when it's hot, 86 Fahrenheit in Angel Stadium at 8 miles per hour to right, it just feels like this is a offensive ballpark. And if we think that Luis Garcia can get touched a little bit, we know the Astros are going to get theirs. I think this makes sense. I will move on the over 9.5 full game. Over 9.5. I think everything correlates with that. All right. We move on. Atlanta Braves at Arizona Diamondbacks. I found this a very interesting spot because I wanted to back Merrill Kelly at home, where he's 4-3 with a 3.38 ERA, 238 opponent's batting average. But the roof is open just like yesterday and the day before. Remember, we talked about how the roof is going to be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the roof's going to be closed tomorrow for the afternooner. So remember that in your capping. Open tonight, closed tomorrow at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. 100 Fahrenheit clear, 3 miles per hour to left center. Ian Anderson versus Merrill Kelly. Ian Anderson splits are very closely alike. And TJ said, I have a ticket on the over here already. I love it. I love seeing that. And first 5 over for Astros Angels for Joe Chris. I love that. Sean Thompson's on the Braves here. Ian Anderson, 3.75 ERA, 1.29 whip. Had a good season, 114 Ks, 115 in a third. He's coming off a 6.5 extra inning loss at the Giants, where he went 5 2/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks. He did not look very good. Now he stays out on the road, going up against Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly last start was poor. It was tough to throw at Chavez Ravine. It's always tough to throw against the Dodgers, but the Dodgers aren't hitting righties right now. So it was a little worse than it looks. 4 2/3, 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, and 1 K. He's got a 4.41 ERA and a 1.28 whip on the season. But he pitches well at home. On the road, he's 3-7 with a 5.56 ERA, 298 opponent's batting average. The Braves, over their last 30 days against righties, 257, 62 OPS. And the Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties, 218, 655 OPS. There's Vicente Gigante in the house. Great to see you. Vital says, sure, you guys all know Tua Tagovailoa's fractured rib is out Sunday. Most books haven't taken it off the board. And Eric Jones is also on Atlanta. And there's Gamer Madden Esports in the house. Okay, so Braves bullpen also being very good over the last 30 days compared to the Diamondbacks bullpen that's struggled all season long. But Anthopoulos really got this bullpen rolling for the Braves. Put in the right pieces. Let's take a look at this. The Braves open up at minus 187. They're now minus 173, a 14-cent move over to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that makes sense to me. And this total's gone from 9 to 9.5. So I was interested in this first 5 under. And maybe I shouldn't be. Clearly, it moved from 4.5 to 5, and I don't want to mess with that market move. So open at 4.5. Now we have 5s right across the board, slightly juiced to the under. Let's go over to the data here. And I love this stuff. I mean, only one batter in a Diamondbacks uniform has ever seen Ian Anderson. And then against Merrill Kelly, only 20 at-bats against them, and they're 5 for 20 with a double. I do not want to go up against this market move. That's my issue. And let's just see if the cash is involved and makes sense here. With Arizona, Atlanta, with 2,849 tickets in, 73% of the tickets, 75% of cash on the Braves, and then 44% of the tickets, 96% of cash on the under. Wow. I mean, the idea has to be this. If you think Merrill Kelly's going to have a bounce-back start. So, look, if this never moved to 5, apologies for the sirens outside. That's coming through with all the windows closed. That's our lullaby that puts us to sleep at night, are the sweet sound of sirens here in Parkdale. Anderson, Merrill Kelly, if this was at 4.5 and it moved a little bit, it was juiced to the under a little bit, I'd be on it. But the fact that it went from 4.5 to 5 scares me. It makes me not want to be involved. But my initial thought was, why not? Isn't there value on Merrill Kelly? Ian Anderson did not look good in his last road start, but you can't trust the Diamondbacks bats. And so I have to stay off this spot. It's too bad, but I'm going to let the market dictate. Thank you, Joseph Gomez. Thank you. We have 2 games left, and then we bring on the great Nolly Knows. Let's move on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners at Oakland Athletics. Shout out to our pistol, Pete Loshak, who moved on the under. That's how he got the nickname Lodels. The man knows totals. And he was on the under 9 Mariners Athletics. Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California here. Mariners 40-36 on the road. A's. Oh, I took the Mariners record down twice. Okay. Chris Flexen going up against Cole Irvin. I want to fade Cole Irvin every opportunity I can get. Chris Flexen at home. Remember, Chris Flexen had these horrifying home road splits, and they're much less extreme right now. There's Turnsey in the house. Great to see you, Turnsey. We miss you. Flexen's 12-6 with a 3.66 ERA, 1.26 whip, 162 in the third, 110 Ks, 36 walks, 16 home runs. There's Sanka rolling with us. Great to see you, Sanka. Mike M says, pimp slap play today. Seattle first 5 plus a half. Seattle first 5 plus a half. And when I pushed yesterday on my Tigers first 5, pimp slap did not, because he was on the first 5 plus a half. But I still think that I still am going to stick to my idea, and everybody caps differently, but I will never turn a dog into a favorite. So Flexen used to have these extreme splits. Now on the road, he's 6-1 with a 4.32 ERA, 293 opponents batting average. That number's dropping. He's been good all year at home, 6-5, 3.09 ERA, 252 opponents batting average. Going up against Cole Irvin. Cole Irvin coming off, or the A's are coming off 5-4 win at the Angels when he was pitching last. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 of which were earned, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. And he's looked susceptible. But the Mariners don't hit lefties, 257.03 OPS. A's versus righties, 255.726 OPS. Those numbers are dropping. And the Mariners bullpen has been so strong of late, 3.59 ERA compared to the A's bullpen, 5.52 ERA over the last 30 days. Let's move over to the baseball data. Against Flexen, 250 with a 638 OPS. He's been very good against them. Against Cole Irvin, 438, 1.011 OPS. When I'm looking at just the statistics, not what's happening in the market, I can completely understand why you guys are on these Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at the full game market and see where the cash lies. The A's open up at minus 128. They're now minus 140, a 12-cent move towards them. This under 8.5 was at minus 115, which is exactly where it stands right now. No movement on the total. So let's move over to the cash and see if it works for you guys. 2,408 tickets in, 56% of the tickets and 77% of the cash are on the Mariners, and yet we've seen a 12-cent move towards the A's, and that just doesn't add up to me. We also have 67% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the under, so clearly the models are predicting a nice start for Cole Irvin. And Viper says, I can't trust Irvin. I don't want to have Irvin, but I'm not going to go up against this market move, and I've been trying not to all year long. Max on record says, keep winning so you can move away from the humping pigeon balcony. That's very nicely put. That's G-rated, beautifully put. Eric Jones says, being on the under last 3 here, got cold feet today. Pitchers ballpark may take it again. Clearly, the Sharps are on that under. Trusting Cole Irvin at home. Now, I didn't write down Cole Irvin's splits because it must have been similar, so it wouldn't warrant it. But let's just take a look at Cole Irvin right now, quickly, his splits, before I think that the sharp money is right to be on this under. His last home start was versus Texas. He went 7 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. Let's go to splits here. At home, he's 4-6 with a 3.81 ERA, 265 opponents batting average. Makes sense. The Mariners just aren't hitting. Mariners need to win this game. Chris Flexen is pretty strong. The only issue right now would be the A's bullpen, but you've got to think the A's bullpen comes together here late in the season. And what is this total? This total's done nothing. Sitting at under 8.5. Joe Chris likes the under. I think that makes sense. Daniel Ocean says, Flexen from Newark, California, 30 minutes from Oakland. Most likely his family will be there rooting for him. Flexen might have extra motivation to throw a good game today. That's a great note, Daniel Ocean. That's an excellent note. And that's something that our Diesel Eugene does for us because he's a huge Angels fan. So he always knows when a visiting pitcher is going to pitch in Orange County and how big of a deal that is. I like this. I'm going to move on the under 8.5. I believe that's sharp money coming in. And was it a situation where the tickets were on the under? I prefer so 33% of tickets are on the over, but just 7% of the cash. All right, I'm in. Under 8.5 is an addition in Mariners A's. This is the final spot on the board, and it's intricate. Giants, Padres. There's Trotwham, and now it's Neil P. Says Mariners and A's tied with 82 wins each, 40 and 30. Oh, it is exactly the same. Okay, I thought I'd put that in wrong. Neil P. I thought that I'd put that in wrong. It was it's a hard 24 hours of capping, man. Okay, so Nut Flush Allen says Giants team total over set at 4.5. Last 20 games are 13-7 to the over. Now versus the Padres, they beat that number 4 out of 5 times. Vince Velasquez walks a lot of batters, and Giants are disciplined. Again, pedal down. Sammy Culmer also on this Giants team total over 4.5. They're getting minus 115 at Pinnacle. Let's just see what I would get here at Bet365 if I was to bet it. And I would get I know it's going to be 4.5 at minus 115 too. All right. Viper MB says fade Vince at all costs. All right, let's talk Giants. Padres here, Petco Park, San Diego, California, 76 Fahrenheit, clear, 6 miles per hour in. Scott Kazmir. So it's a bullpen day. Kazmir on the bump, 0-1, 6.43 ERA, 1.29 whip. He's just throwing 7 innings this year. Look, it's a great story that Kazmir still gets to put on a major league uniform, but he's not somebody I trusted. He's not someone who's going to be on the bump for very long. Ski Prophet says, I like the Giants team total over 2. JS Vocal says, Cardinals spread, Astros spread, and Dodgers under. Rodney Barton in the house. Great to see you, Rodney. Vince Velasquez, 3-7, 6.09 ERA, 1.46 whip, 85 2/3, 89 Ks, 45 walks, 19 home runs. He was DFA'd by the Phillies and picked up by these Padres. His first start was last out, and it was okay because he allowed 3 runs in the first inning. I was like, oh, why did I not fade him? The market was telling us that Velasquez was going to have a decent start here, and they were pretty much right. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, now 2 homers, no walks, 4 Ks, and 8-2 loss at the Cards. Giants are smashing righties. 268, 13 OPS over the last 30 days. Padres aren't hitting lefties at all, but Kazmir is going to be in there for an inning. Padres bullpen's been so bad as well. Certainly feels like the Giants are the look, even though Kazmir is on the ground. The problem is there's been another huge market move towards the Padres and towards Vince Velasquez, and that's just confounding. There has been a 2-cent move to the over 9.5. Why? Why do these guys think Velasquez is capable of having a good start? Just wild. Let's see if the cash follows suit. 1,437 tickets in. 68% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on the Giants. So bigger bets coming on the Padres is wild. Then we have 46% of tickets on the under and 60% of cash on the under. Why? That's just nuts to me. And Eric Jones is on the under here. Teron Hopkins is on the Yankees. Angels full game under 9. I completely get your guys' look on the over. The Padres bullpen's being bad, and Vince Velasquez is not to be trusted. But why would there be a market move moving over the Padres? And Ski Prop says, even if Velasquez has a good start, the bullpen 6.21 ERA last 2 weeks. I completely get it, Ski, and the numbers will back it. So, we get to that very interesting thing that we've been dealing with all year, or at least I've been dealing with much more, where the numbers will say one thing, but the market will say another. And when that's happened for me, because I'm betting on all sports, all day and night, I don't need to. Quantity is a non-issue. I'm going to have enough bets today. So because those don't line up, because it's not all correlated, I am not going to move on it. But I can understand why others are. So I'm off. I will cheer on Nut Flush. JS Vogel says, love the over, contemplating the first 5 over 5.5. Yeah, look, I get it. Stats say one thing, but it's helped me not going up against the Sharps. And look, it's not huge, Sharp. 46% of tickets are on the under and 60% of the cash, so it's not huge. All right, so let's review action before we bring on Nolly Knows next. Again, from Pistol Pete Loshak, Cubs first half team total under 1.5. Washington, Miami first half over 4. Diamondbacks first half team total over 1.5. Philly first half team total over 2.5. Ulysses Hayes is on Boston moneyline, St. Louis moneyline, Oakland moneyline, Tampa Bay moneyline, San Francisco moneyline. For me, I'm adding the under 9 in Toronto, Tampa. I wish that Royals game would go. I'm not sure what to do with this Phillies first 5 -1.5 or -115, but I'm likely not going to bet it. I'm already on the Red Sox first 5 -1/2 -135, and the say hey play of the day from our man Jose is on sale over 6.5 at +113. I've already bet the first 5 under 3.5 in Twinkies Cubbies. Then we get to the pimp slap play of the day. 1 St. Louis first 5 under 5. The St. Louis Milwaukee, it just didn't all line up for me properly, so I'm off of it. I'm adding the over 9.5 in Astros Angels. I wanted to have money on this Braves Diamondbacks game. I've said this for 3 months that I think Merrill Kelly gives us value at home. But if the total's going up, then there's a prediction that there's not a good start spot for Merrill Kelly. And I can't trust the Diamondbacks offense, so I'm going to stay off of it. I'm on the under 8.5. That's an addition. I've not bet that yet. That's Mariners A's. And Seattle first 5 +0.5 is pimp slap play of the day number 2. Then Nut Flush Allen is on the Giants team total over 4.5. And so is Sammy Culmer, who has that as his bet of the day. All right. It is now time to bring on Nolly Knows, the man that has been making unders great again. Nolly Knows, coming off a fantastic week with us last week, right across the board, gave us winners in MLB, NCAA football, and NFL. He had a plus ROI in all 3 of those sports. He had a monster week. Let's watch him follow that up. Please welcome to the show, Nolly Knows.
Oh, man, Jimmy, how's it going? Real excited to be here, but you make me real nervous when you start talking those numbers, man. But, yeah, I had a great week. I hope I helped somebody cash. Excited. I love this time of year. We got all kinds of sports going. College basketball's around the corner. I'm excited to be here. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. And I love your backdrop. That looks awesome. It looks so cool. Great work there. Craig McElvery says, I'm new here. Do you ever cover player props like pitcher strikeouts? We have cappers in the chat that focus big on cappers on player strikeouts. And the say hey play of the day today is Chris Sale over 6.5 strikeouts at +113. Nolly Knows, I love working with you. Let's get right at it. The first spot that you were planning on attacking has been postponed. So we move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals at Miami Marlins. TJ's play of the day is Miami Washington over 7.5 at -120. It has now moved to 8. He says he still likes it. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. I expect the roof to be closed because it's going to be raining up leading into the ball game. Then there's a 25% chance of rain in the first hour. So I expect the roof to be closed. Josiah Gray versus Eliza Hernandez, 2 very promising young pitchers on the hill. Josiah Gray came over in the big Nats Dodgers trade, and I know that you know him very well, Nolly. He started out so strong with the Nats, and he's really fallen back the last few starts. His last start at home versus the Rockies, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 9-8 loss. On the year, he's 0-2 with a 6.24 ERA, 1.44 whip. Going up against Eliza Hernandez, whom I really like. I really like Eliza Hernandez. 1-2, 3.80 ERA, 1.24 whip. His last start at home versus the Pirates, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned. And I lost that first 5. And it was that error that cost me money. But Eliza looked great. 5 walks, though. 5 walks was an issue, 3 Ks, but he did seem in control. Nats versus righties, 243, 735 OPS. Marlins versus righties, just 227, 653 OPS. This Nats bullpen has been so bad over the last 30 days, 5.25 ERA, while this Marlins bullpen has shone over the last little bit, now at 2.69 ERA. So we have Nolly Knows his first game on the board. Nats, Marlins. Let's set him a table. This total opened up at 8 at Pinnacle. So it was a nice job that TJ got that 7.5 at 8 at Pinnacle at -106. It's now at -108, a 2-cent move to the over. And the Marlins opened up at -127. They're now -122, a 5-cent move towards the Nats. Take it away, Nolly, your first game on the board, Nats Marlins.
Yeah, you talked about Josiah Gray, guy that Dodgers traded away, had to make a move here in the postseason, really preventing the Padres from getting Scherzer. You know, that was like one of the main things that I like to focus on, what they did, acquiring Turner as well. So I think it was worth it. And Josiah Gray, he started off really strong when he came out with the Nationals, but since then really been struggling here the last few games, giving up 6-5, 6-6, 5-5 in each game respectively, and really struggling, but had some good signs in the last game out. In the first inning, gave up 2 walks, a double, and then a sacrifice fly. So one hit, and all of a sudden he's down 2-0. But after that, he retires 12 of the next 13 batters. Then, like you said, walks a guy and home run and a 2-out, 2-strike count. So guy's still learning how to pitch. A guy that just became a pitcher in 2017. So he's still figuring out a lot of things. He talks about from this start, he goes, I'm just going to take away all the positives. Things started to feel better. Things started to click. He's got the stuff, but what does he need to prove here down the stretch? Not a whole lot. His place is really set over there. You know, you give up Scherzer for this guy, he's going to have a long leash and not a lot to prove. But on the other side with Eliezer Hernandez, you know, that pitching staff over there for Miami is getting really crowded recently. You know, they got a lot of good young prospects coming up, and you know what the Marlins do when they have a lot. They start shipping them out. You know, they got Eliezer Hernandez under contract for a few years. So that's an interesting trade piece. So he needs to really step up and really pitch well if he wants to stay here or even maybe find a good landing spot. The one concern here when you talk about the Marlins offense going against Josiah Gray gives up a lot of walks and a lot of home runs. But the Marlins are 26th in the league in walks and 28th in home runs. So are they really going to be able to sit here and hit them? That's the question mark right here when I'm talking about this game. But Eliezer Hernandez, we talked about how good he's looked. He looked good last time out against Washington, went 5 innings, 7 hits, just 2 earned runs. So he was able to get out of jams. Those are the things that I like to see. Last year, he kind of burst into the scene. You know, had a 3.16 ERA, but all short sample sizes. So still quite a lot of question marks with Eliezer, but I like what I see a lot. And we talk about the youngsters playing hard. The Marlins have a lot of them, and I think they're playing a little harder than what I see from the Nationals. And I still have a lot of question marks with Josiah Gray. I was looking at total here, but I ended up switching it up here. I ended up taking the Miami Marlins here, first 5 money line, minus 125.
I like it. And just it makes sense because I agree with the idea that this could be a get-right spot for Josiah because of the meek offense of the Marlins, but he's just looked vulnerable. And if he went 3 runs in 6 innings, that'd be a good start for him, and we would probably cash the first 5. I think this is – and then remember, Nats are smashing lefties, but not righties. This is nice. I like this. Let's talk about it a little more. Now, Eliezer doesn't have great numbers against these guys. 13 for 38 with 4 doubles and a homer. So 342, 917 OPS. And it's Soto, who's a monster. 5 for 14 with 3 doubles and a homer against them. Josiah Gray has faced the Marlins an 11 at bat. So 3 for 11 there. But I like Eliezer, and I think this makes sense here. Let's take a look and see if everything kind of correlates here from the market perspective. We have we talked about the 5-cent move towards the Nationals already. So let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 2,433 tickets in. 56% of the tickets, 76% of the cash on the Marlins, and a 5-cent move to the Nats. And then we have 56% of the tickets, 65% of cash on the over. I know that TJ is breathing a sigh of relief that you aren't on the under and that you're on the side here. This makes sense. Uncle Oliver says first 5 Marlins, good play. I like this look. You got a minus 125. I'm curious to see what I would get right now. At my book on this one, I would get, minus 140. Damn it. And then if I had to take them first 5 minus a half to lower the juice, it would be minus 105. I could do that. You know? Do you think that's too much juice? What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't realize it moved because it moved the other way initially and then moved back, and so I thought it was going to be fluctuating right there because honestly, I'm feeling like a decent start from Josiah Gray, just a 4.5. I was getting 4 for the first 5. I just simply couldn't do that. I was leaning towards the over on that, but once you start getting in the 140 range, it's a little bit difficult. I don't know if I would have pulled the trigger there.
I will wait because I agree with you. I much prefer in a game with a low total like this to be able to push if it's tied after 5. But I get this move for you, Nolly. So Nolly is on Marlins first 5 at minus 125. All right, Nolly, let's move on to your next game on the board. And I want in. Texas Rangers at New York Yankees. I stayed off at this point just because the market move is moving towards the over, but I really want to hear your breakdown. Rangers 22-54 on the road at the Yankees, 85-67, 44-33 at home. Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York, 74 Fahrenheit, overcast, 12 miles per hour sideways across the diamond. Taylor Hearn on the bump for the Rangers, 6-5, 4.52 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 87 Ks and 93 2/3. His last start was ugly. It was at home versus the White Sox, and he got crushed. But we know what the White Sox are doing to lefties right now. They're smashing them. 3 1/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, no homers, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Look at what the Yankees are doing to lefties. Last 30 days, 230, 664 OPS. They're not hitting them. And Corey Kluber. Oh, and another stat for Taylor Hearn is that he's been better on the road than he has been at home. At home, he's 2-3, 4.81 ERA, 275 opponents batting average. On the road, though, 4-2, 4.26 ERA, 216 opponents batting average. Corey Kluber coming off a great start against his old team, and now he's another start against an old team. And I know it won't mean as much as it did going up against the Indians, but his last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 8-0 win at home. He looked excellent. The Rangers are hitting 269, 724 OPS versus righties last 30 days. That's improved. And the Rangers bullpen has improved as the season's gone on. 3.91 ERA over the last 30, while the Yankees bullpen 4.21 ERA over the last 30. Teron Hopkins, give me my props play of the day. Yankees, Texas under 9. And Millsy says Nolly Knows is coming from or going for the best background in a video award. I see you. It does look very sharp, Nolly. Okay, here we go. Yankees, Rangers. Let's just set the odds and watch Nolly roll. This total opened up at 9, under 9 at minus 118. So there's been a 5-cent move to the over. It's now 9 at minus 113. And the Yankees open up at minus 245. They're now 264, a 19-cent move towards them. Nolly Knows, Rangers, Yanks. Take it away.
Yes, sir. Really excited about this game. You talked about it. Taylor Hearn has been, to quote the coach, our biggest bright spot of the year. You know, he talks about his composure, his demeanor, his confidence. Feels like he belongs here. You know, he's been wanting to be a starter for a long time. Finally gets the opportunity, and he sees the moment. He's looked really good throughout. He talked about had some struggles last time against the White Sox, and actually ends up walking 3 batters in that game. The first time he had walked a batter in 3 starts, he had gone 89 batters without a walk. So command is definitely there for him. That's a big thing when you talk about getting ahead in counts. That's how you're going to attack batters here in the major leagues. He fell last time. He just falling behind, missing low. Then we try to creep up, try to get that strike. He was getting hit hard. That's just the way it happens here. But he's looked good throughout the year. And we talk about here going against the Yankees. Few Yankees have actually seen him. Not a lot of stats against them. Made a relief appearance against them earlier in the year, went 2 innings. But that was about it. This Yankee ball club has actually been a really good under team for the year. They're 83, 65, and 4 to the under, good for 56%. And first 5 under at Yankee Stadium is good for 60% this season, 42, 28, and 5. So not what people really expect in that little league ballpark over there. But, hey, it's getting it done, you know. And here you got Corey Kluber coming off that 9-inning shutout or no-hit performance here against the Rangers last time out. And in his not last time out, but last time he faced this team. Then last time out, he looked really, really good. You talk here on the Yankees, you got Joey Gallo, who was part of that Texas Rangers team, and he said he's pitching like he did against us in Texas. Like he's figuring it out. He's had a lot of movement on his stuff, and even Kluber mentioned it. You know, he says that he had stretches before where it takes a bit to get into the groove, but when I get to that point, I'm able to ride it out. And that's how I feel right now. So he's feeling good, and I'm feeling good to back him. You mentioned the wind going across the diamond. That's something that I love, especially when you talk about a breaking ball pitcher like Corey Kluber. Wind resistance is a factor with that ball, just as much in as out. That mass doesn't change. The mass of the ball does not change in or out. So the wind is going to affect it in or out. And I like it here. I see the move slightly going up, but you know, I just expect another good outing for Kluber going against the Rangers, 29th in runs, 27th in home runs. The last 5 games, they're averaging just 1.6 runs per game. Really cold. And I really like the first 5 under here. Whether you get a 4.5 at even money, that's what I got, or you get a 5 that are creeping up right now. But I like the even money.
I like this breakdown a lot, and the cash works for this spot. We have 3,732 tickets in. Now, 74% of tickets, 91% of cash on the Yankees. But 41% of tickets on the under and 96% of cash. This makes sense to me. I wonder, though, Nolly, if 4.5 for me, first 5, I wonder if a 9 I can be comfortable with, because the Rangers bullpen has been quite good. And I know that you have more control here. But right now I get the under 4.5 at plus 105. And I don't want to double up here. The under 9's at minus 120, so it does cost. Wow. GG, UNLV Fresno is not on today's card, unfortunately. But we will be breaking it down this week before the game, so I apologize on that. Ski Prophet says, sounds like a Rangers team total under kind of too. I like this look. Noli, I'm going to move on it. I've just got to make a decision whether or not I'm going to be safe and wait for the 5, or I want that 4.5 right now. Yeah, I think so, Ski, over the last 30 days. I'll pull it up right now because I just have their ERA here. But a 3.91 ERA. Let's move over to the advanced here. But that's anytime for me, if I can get a bullpen that has under 4 ERA, a bullpen that's been bad all year, I trust it. Their whip 1.35. So yeah, over the last 30 days, I'm comfortable with that. You're looking at the last 2 weeks, and I get that. I prefer to use a bigger sample size, but clearly they're not looking very good over the last 2 weeks. Okay, so there you have it. First 5 under 4.5, and I guess you're right, Ski. If they've been that bad over the last 2 weeks or 15 days, and then maybe it's best to stick with Noli on that first 5. So Noli's on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 100, and then we have to ask ourselves: do we want the plus number beside the 4.5, or do we want the safe route on the 5? So there you have it. That is Rangers, Yankees. Let's move on. And Birdie says Antonio Brown has COVID. Lots of news coming in. So the next spot on the board, I can't wait to talk about. We have a lot of work from our cappers on this game already, and that is Los Angeles Dodgers at Colorado Rockies, Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. The taint play of the day is Buehler over 5.5 Ks at minus 115. Taint is on Buehler, strikeout prop. Then the spreadsheet play of the day is on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I moved on the first 5 under 5.5. About Buehler, this is from our Matty Ice. He says, Buehler struck out 8 batters last time in Colorado. He only has to get to 6 to catch this. Rocky struck out 11 times yesterday. Love the value here. Oh, and the gambler's first glance is in. Okay, so I'll do that on our review. I'll talk about the gambler's first glance. Padres money line going up against the Giants. Padres money line for Razor Sharp's gambler's first glance. Buehler versus Herman Marquez, 82 Fahrenheit, clear 4 miles per hour sideways. Buehler 14-4, 2.39 ERA, 0.96 whip, 194 Ks, 49 walks, 18 home runs. I'm surprised I got the 5.5. And those of you who got the 6 as soon as the market came out, spectacular work. In his last start, he went up against Castillo. It was just a thing of beauty. Our man Noli had first 5 and full game unders, and he got us on the first 5 under. So it was a nice winning day for Noli in this spot. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and 3-1 loss. Marquez on the other side, 12-10, 4.16 ERA, 1.23 whip. Yeah, he's coming off getting smashed at the Nats. 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 1 K. He was supposed to pitch the day before, so he lost his rhythm. It had been rained out, so he pitched the next day. At home, he's been lights out, 8-2, 3.16 ERA, 202 opponents batting average. The Dodgers versus righties last 30 days, 206, 623 OPS. They're not hitting them. Rockies versus righties, 222, 710 OPS. Dodgers bullpen being excellent over the last 30 days, 2.56 ERA. Rockies bullpen, 4.24 ERA over the last 30 days. Here we go. Let's just take a look. That 5.5 is sitting there. I got -110. It's now at between -119 and -125. And then a full game money line and total spot here for this Dodgers game. We have the Dodgers opening up at -189. They're now -191, just a 2-cent move towards them. And this total still sitting at 10.5. It opened at 10.5, -111. It's now 10.5, -110. Nolly Knows, take it away. Your Dodgers in action.
Yes, sir. Have a decent read when it comes to the Dodgers, similar to Nutflesh, but Nutflesh likes to fire on his team a lot more than I do. Sometimes I know I'm biased and I'll just kind of step aside. But here with the Rockies, I always hear overs and overs and overs, and you guys got to put things in perspective. You know, that the way that the ball flies and the humidor and all that is taken into account with the line, and sometimes it's overinflated because of the past and the public perception. You know, you talk about these Colorado Rockies, the most profitable team to the under here, 81, 62, and 5 this year. First 5 under at home, 39, 30, and 3. And those are all home numbers here. So they're profitable hitting unders at home, and they have been, most recently, they've been a little bit less because the bats woke up for a little bit of stretch there. But here, going against Walker Buehler, they're going to have a tough time. You know, Walker Buehler's had some really good starts against them. Went 7 innings, just 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 2 earned runs earlier this year. Going back to last year, 6 innings, 4 hits, just 1 earned run. So he's really pitched extremely well against them. And more importantly, in Coors Field, that's something that you always got to look at. And 173 total at-bats this year against these batters, Colorado batters, allowing just 40 hits, 155 batting average, good for just a 2.41 slugging. So that's going to be a tough task for them to go against Walker Buehler here. And for the Dodgers here, you talk about Dodgers team, they do produce hits and they can swing the bat pretty well, but a team that leaves a lot of runners on base, lead the league in runners left on base, 30th and 7.33 runners left on base per game, and they're 29th in runners left in scoring position at almost 4 runners a game. So the Dodgers can get some hits, but they just haven't been able to produce the runs as much this season. And Marquez on the other side, looking to be one of the best Colorado pitchers of all time. You know, the guy has been really good at home and pitcher-friendly Colorado, I guess. You know, he seems to love
Well,
it.
you're cutting out here for a
already.
second. Just let me pull you out really quickly and get you back in. I don't know what was going on because your stream is clear. So let's pull you back in. Okay, can you keep going?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. Where was I? Marquez. So with Marquez, I think he's pitched extremely well at home. You know, you look on the road, 5.38 ERA, but at home, 3.16 ERA. He's only given up 8 home runs in 94 innings as opposed to 12 home runs in 77 innings on the road. You know, not typical stats of what you see from a Colorado pitcher. And so he seems to be really comfortable at home. He's pitched pretty well against the Dodgers. Yeah, you look at some of the numbers, don't look that great as far as batting average, but he's produced. Last time out against these Dodgers, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run. And going back to last year, pitched twice, 2 solid innings, 7 hits, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 0 earned runs. So, you know, I stick to it. I like the way that I've been attacking these Rockies and at home, and I like the first 5 under. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab the 6. That wasn't available at my book. I grabbed the 5.5.
So did I. And I got mine at -110, so we now see it at -120. I'm very comfortable with this spot, but not everybody's with us. Lit Pick says Marquez gets rocked tonight, and Johnny K says Buehler gets bombed. So, and then if you look at the cash flow, you know, not everybody's on our side in this spot. 4,766 tickets in, 77% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on the Dodgers. On the total, 57% of the tickets on the over and 71% of cash on the over. But that's full game. And, the Rockies bullpen has not been excellent. I like it. I'm with you. I like it. Taint is on Buehler over 5.5 Ks. What do you think of that spot? You think Buehler gets that job done?
Yeah, I lean that way. I'm not really an angle I really wanted to attack here today, but I would lean that way, but I really don't have a solid opinion on it.
Well, I like the first 5 under 5.5. And by the way, Ski Prophet says Nolly's breakdown put me on Rangers team total under 3.5. Rangers have stayed under 3.5 last 7 games and 5 or 6 games versus New York. More expensive, but I like it. And Ricky Levine says you heard it here first. Corey Seager will be an Angel next year. Johnny K looking at the Rockies money line. Remo says wind blowing in or out. It's coming in sideways, and it's just 4 miles per hour. So there's not much of a wind issue. Anthony Velez hit the under last night. Gregorio Ruiz says playoff time. Go Dodgers. And Remos liking this under. Leo Leon says Dodgers may be in trouble for postseason. Bats are dead. Shocking with the addition of Trey Turner, who's been so good. Top set loving a Dodgers Yankees parlay. And Nathan Cerna, first 5 under, full game over. I like it. So let's review our guy Nolly Knows' action. So he got, what was the juice you got on the first 5? First 5 under 5.5?
I got the minus 110.
First 5 under 5.5 minus 110 for Nolly. And then he's on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 100 in Rangers Yankees. And he's on the Marlins first 5. I'm going to wait and see what to do with the Marlins first 5 because it's a little pricier for me right now, which is a good sign for the bet. And then my first 5 under 4.5 at plus 105, or do I want the first 5 under 5 for more expensive? I got to see if I want to be confident or be safe. There you have it from Nolly Knows, which leads us to one other thing. I know we talked about this Giants-Padres game quite deeply, but we have now found out that our guy, Razor Sharp Picks, is on the other side. Now, you guys are on the Giants team totals, so you guys can all win. But Razor Sharp Picks is on the San Diego Padres. On second glance, he's on the Padres. All right, let's review MLB action and move on. Ski Prophet says take full game. Jimmy minus 124. Bullpen is being better for Miami too. That does make sense. I hear what you're saying there, Ski. So I'm going to take a little bit more time on that spot. On top of my worksheet here, I have a note from Crystal Warren from yesterday's show. She said that Pete would rake tail on Farmers Only. Not entirely sure why I copied and pasted that note, but I did. Here we go. Loshak's on Cubs first half team total under 1.5. Washington, Miami first half over 4. Diamondbacks first half team total over 1.5. Philly first half team total over 2.5. And now we have the Pirates Reds game canceled. I'm adding the under 9 in Blue Jays Rays. I think the Royals game will be canceled as well. The Ickschnizzle play of the day, Foshizzle Ickschnizzle, is Phillies first 5 team total over 2.5. So that correlates with Loshak's action. Let me put that right here. So we have Loshak and the Foshizzle Ickschnizzle play of the day there. And then for me, I'm interested. I'm not sure what to do exactly with this Phillies first 5. It's probably a mistake. It's got to be a mistake to go minus 115. Maybe I just got to let that go. Should probably just let that go. I'm on the Red Sox first 5 minus a half. Jose is on sale over 6.5 Ks at plus 113 for the Say Hey play of the day. I'm on the first 5 under 3.5 in Twins Cubs. Nolly, did that come close to making your card?
The problem with that one is no lines overnight. You got Chicago. In Chicago, they're always going to wait until the day of to put out lines because it's the windy city. But at 24 miles an hour, it's hard not to look at it. I'm going to be digging in a little bit here after the show here, but definitely I'm intrigued.
St. Louis first 5 team total over and full game team total over for TJ. Pimp slap play of the day, St. Louis first 5 under 5. By the way, TJ says this is a gift for those team total overs. I'm on the over 9.5 in Houston Angels. That's an addition to the show. I was interested in the Braves Diamondbacks, but I'm going to stay off. I'm on the under 8.5 in Mariners Athletics, and the Pimp Slap play of the day number 2, Seattle first 5 plus a half. Gambler's first glance is the Padres money line. Nut Flush Allen's on the Giants team total over, and Sammy Cumler's play of the day is on the Giants team total over 4.5 as well. Then for Nolly Knows, he's on the Marlins first 5 at minus 125. TJ's play of the day is Miami Washington over 7.5 at minus 120. Then first 5 under 4.5 at plus 100 for Nolly and Rangers Yankees. I want in on that. I'm just not sure if it'll be on the 4.5 or the 5. And then Nolly's on the first 5 under 5.5 in the Dodgers Rockies game. I'm also on that. The taint play of the day is Bueller over 5.5 Ks and Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. And Deacon Mike says, just looked at the Wrigley Field live cam. Wind is actually slightly blowing out to right at 20 miles per hour. Well, that makes me very uncomfortable. I'm going to have to take – well, I guess what's done is done, but if that's the case, I'll buy out of it. That makes me very nervous. Thank you for sharing that with us, Deacon Mike. All right, we move on to NCAA football. My spectacular start to the season is now a distant memory. I am sitting 19-17. Hitting at 52.8%, down 0.05 units. ROI down 0.14%. Average line minus 111. And Nolly Knows, God, you were so sharp last week, as usual. But you cashed right across the board, MLB, NCAA football, and NFL. Now, I only tailed one of your looks. You gave us 3. You went 2-1. I only tailed the 1. I tailed that under in Washington, and that breakdown was just excellent. Let's get into it right now. These are games that Nolly Knows has chosen, and they both take place on Friday night. Oh, and give me my props play today. New York Yankees, Texas under 9. Thank you, Tron. I'm going to copy and paste that because that correlates with Nolly and makes me want to be involved. Okay. Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, 1-2, 0-1 in Conference USA at Charlotte 49ers, 2-1. This is their first game in conference play. Let me just give me my props play today right there. Okay. 73 Fahrenheit, sunny, 4 miles per hour at Jerry Richardson Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the Friday nighter here. I believe it's the first game on the Friday night card. Let's move over there to the marketplace. And we want spreads and totals. So Charlotte opening up as 2-point favorites at Pinnacle minus 111 have moved to 3-point favorites. This total has gone up a half point at Pinnacle from 56 to 56.5. Let's see if we have enough tickets to talk about the market in this game. We have 1,803 tickets in, so it's just starting. But 49% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the spread are on Middle Tennessee. Then on the total, 53% of tickets are on the under and 48% of cash is on the under. So some confusion about the under. Middle Tennessee opened with an easy 50-15 win at home versus Monmouth. It was a walkthrough, basically. They followed that up with a 35-14 loss to then number 19 Virginia Tech as 20-point underdogs. Then last week they lose 27-13 at UTSA as 11.5-point dogs. This Blue Raider offensive line looks very bad. Very bad. Chase Cunningham is not getting a situation where he can have any time to put anything together. The O-line has allowed 30 tackles for a loss, 19 sacks so far. Against UTSA, Middle Tennessee was limited to 8 yards rushing on 25 attempts. They turned the ball over twice. And I think that almost all of the blame can be directed right at that offensive line. They have not rushed for 100 yards on the ground in any game this season. Charlotte opened up their season with a big 31-28 win at home versus Duke. We were on Charlotte in that game. They followed that up with an easy 38-10 win at home versus Gardner-Webb. And last week they lost 29 at Georgia State as 4.5-point dogs. Truth in the house. It's been far too long. Truth joining us. Jacksonville Zoe Millsy also rolling with us. Great to see you guys. So against Duke and Georgia State, both teams ran the ball easily on Charlotte. And Gardner-Webb even ran the ball on Charlotte. But it certainly seems like Middle Tennessee is incapable of doing that. The 49ers and Will Healy are having sure got off the season to a great start, and maybe they've come back to earth a little bit with that loss to Georgia State. But what the 49ers are doing, and I imagine this is going to be something that Nolly's in love with, is they're keeping the ball for long periods of time. And they're winning the possession battle. They even beat Georgia State. Georgia State outgained them 437 to 276, yet the 49ers had the ball for 33 minutes. I can't wait to hear your breakdown, and I want in. So take it away. Middle Tennessee, Charlotte 49ers. Take it away.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Middle Tennessee has really struggled offensively, really to produce much of anything, especially on the ground. And that you talked about Charlotte allowing a lot of rushing yards, but not against this team. And I always talk about that and across all sports. Stats don't necessarily lie, but they don't tell the entire truth. So you got to dig in and trim the fat a little bit sometimes, But what I look at in that Monmouth game, it was a blowout. You talk about 50 to 15. 22 points were scored in that fourth quarter. 2 of them coming by turnover, a pick six and a fumble was recovered on the 7-yard line. So really points were just given away by them. And you look at their third down conversion rate there, just 33%, 3 of 10 against a Monmouth team. That's it's gonna prove to be tough going forward with that type of conversion rate. 32 rushes for 54 yards, a 1.7 rush average, not going to get it done. And not really a team that pushes the pace either. They're 74th in the nation, 69.5 plays per game, which is, to put it in perspective, is just about average, right middle of the pack. That's what that would produce. Charlotte, right about the same as pace, but you talked about it, hold on to the ball significantly more. And that's something that I love to see. 42 rushing attempts is what they average. We run the ball, we run the clock. And you talk about just looking at the totals perspective, 3-0 to the under here early in the season, covering that number by an average of 14.8 points per game. Wow. Line makers have really been getting it wrong to start the year. You talk about their offensive line also giving up a lot of sacks as well, even against Gardner-Webb, giving up 2 sacks even in that game. But you talk about when they start controlling the game, they're going to look to run. And that's what I like to see. Against Gardner-Webb, when they did finally take control, they only threw 17 passes. And if they get a lead, they'll start to run. The -3 is kind of worrisome. I lean towards Charlotte here with the -3. But you know me, I like the totals. And that thing crept up to 56.5. That's what I grabbed. And until these line makers get it right with Charlotte, that's what I'm going to be doing.
I love it. This makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me. I completely get it. And also, at this point, there's only 1,800 tickets in, but the betting public doesn't know what to do with the total. 53% of tickets on the under, 48% cash on the under. They're betwixt. So I have no qualms tailing this. I would have to deal with the 56 at this point, but 56.5 for Nolly on the -110. And I'm not surprised that Charlotte is at -3 here. Not at all. Not at all. And I know that you have interest in Charlotte at -3. The problem here is 77% of the cash. And we know that we expect, the early tickets are going to be more of the sharper gamblers rather than the public late. But that 77% of the cash on Middle Tennessee is going to give me pause here because there's 77% of the cash on Middle Tennessee, yet we've seen a 1-point move to Charlotte. So I'm just going to roll with Nolly. I think this makes a ton of sense. Under 56.5 at -110 is how Nolly gets his NCAA football game started. So let's roll. Real Deal Prime says control the ball, control the game. Arthur Meade Jr. is on the Charlotte 49ers -3. And Jacksonville Zoe off to Vegas for his 20th annual fellas trip. That's sweet, man. Enjoy it. Do it up right. Okay, we move on to Nolly's last game on this card. And Nolly will be joining us again on Friday. So we've got more work with Nolly, and we cherish these opportunities. Liberty Flames at Syracuse Orange, Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. I know that Maxwell Smart and Birdie are already on the Liberty Flames in this spot. Now, I faded Liberty last week with ODU. I got plus 27.5, and of course, Liberty won by 28. It's very, very upsetting. They were only up 11 at the break, and I thought that I was in business, but I was not, and it was very aggravating. And I was a horse track when that L came in, and thank God Nolly's Washington under came in, or I would have been in bad shape, but I wasn't in bad shape. All right, sorry, I digress. Let's talk about Liberty Syracuse here, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Liberty opening up at -6, and we've seen no movement. There's been a 3-cent move towards them. Then this total at 52.5 opener. It's now at 52 at Pinnacle, but it's at 52.5 at Bet365. It's at 53 at Sports Interaction. So some confusion over their number. Now let's move over to the cash flow in this game. Just 1,992 tickets in. On Friday, we'll have a better read. But we have 67% of the tickets and 27% of the cash on Liberty. Sharp money coming in on Syracuse. Then we have the exact same situation as we have with the total Middle Tennessee Charlotte. Confusion and both sides being bet. 55% of the tickets on the under, just 48% of the cash on the under. Liberty opened up its season with an easy 48-7 home win over Campbell. They followed that up with a 21-13 win at Troy as 3-point favorites. That was impressive. And then they beat up on ODU 45-17 as 27.5-point favorites. That was at home. The Flames have won 13 of their last 14 games. Malik Willis is a very good quarterback. He's always been exciting and capable of big plays and the dual threat and all those things. But what's changed? Not changed. But what we see now is he's so smart. He's making the right decision at all times. He's a quarterback that can be trusted in every single spot throughout the game. And I love him. 71% he's completing his passes, 613 yards, and he has 7 touchdowns with 0 interceptions on the year. Syracuse opened their season with a big 29-9 win over at Ohio. They followed that up with a 17-7 loss at home to Rutgers as 2.5-point dogs. And last week, they beat up on Albany at home 62-24. They played the bench in the second half. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. Tommy DeVito, I want to say he looks better than he did last year, but it's hard to say that. Thrown for 388 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. They're averaging 215 yards on the ground, and that's behind Sean Tucker, who's been very good this year, 367 rush yards, 6 touchdowns. And they're good defensively, 16.7 points, 225.3 yards per game they're allowing. And the Carrier Dome is going to be rocking. Here we go. I love this game. Can't wait for it. Liberty, Syracuse, take it away. Nolly Knows.
I think right there, you mentioned it right there. We talk about the stadium is going to be rocking. The dome is going to be rocking. And that's something that didn't happen last year. You know, you talk about Liberty comes in here and takes the win against a Syracuse team that's got nobody in the stands and was depleted by COVID at the time. They have dealing with injuries as well. You know, so this is not the same Syracuse team that Liberty saw. And are they going to come out and blow out Liberty? Not saying that either, but that score and that game is not really indicative of what's going to happen here, in my opinion. In Syracuse, we look at the team and you talk about some of the guys that were involved in that game. They say that this is a personal one, that they're going to come out and play hard. They want this game, and they know who they have to stop, Malik Willis. There's no surprise. There's no question about it. And the thing is, what I see over here for Syracuse, the fact that 4 of their top 6 guys in tackles for losses come from the linebacker position. And that's a key factor when you're talking about going against a dual threat quarterback. You know, you have to have the linebackers that are mobile, that could get sideline to sideline to be able to bring him down. And Syracuse, albeit young linebackers, they seem to have a talented core. Here they're for Liberty, they don't look to push the pace very much either. They're right about average, 61st in the nation, 71.5 plays per game. They're 2-1 of the under, and even with that 1 over, still averaging to stay under the total by an average of 10.2 points per game. So the 2 games really staying under the total significantly. A team that likes to run the ball a lot, but really it's inflated because of the rushing attempts by the quarterback, but still likes to control the clock as well. They're going to look to run first, and that's going to be the big thing when you look at both of these teams. Syracuse is also going to look to run first. They run the ball 39 times, Liberty 43 times. Those are the factors that I love to see, but they might have a tough time running the ball. You look at Liberty only allowing 58 yards rushing per game so far. Syracuse only 63.7. Defenses have looked pretty solid to start the year. And a big thing here for Syracuse, one of the top wideouts, didn't play last game, dealing with the lower body injury. Maybe they're holding him for this game, but they did lose their tight end in the first half last week. So that's going to be a big factor. And another thing, what I can't understand is how Dino Babers can't say who his quarterback is. We're sitting here week 4, quarter of your season's gone, and you can't decide on your QB. He states, we're still in evaluation. What? I just don't understand that. I think he's scared if he sits one guy, the other guy's going to transfer. He's got 3 guys that have already transferred this season. So I think that's more so the concern here. I guess that's just a little side note here. But I mentioned that these defenses are playing really well. They like to run the ball a lot. Syracuse also 2-1 to the under. And I like the under quite a bit here. I got the under 53.
I love it. Absolutely love this breakdown. Matty Ice also on it. This is, I'm going to roll with both of Nolly's spots here. I absolutely love it. And then I can't wait to have him on the show Friday. It was funny, Nolly. I got off to this 14-3 start, and I was like, I don't want to hear anybody else talk about college football. Just let me handle it. And now I'm like, okay, please go on. I need more. Please tell me more. Beautiful, beautiful work. Nolly Knows. He got 53. I'm not going to be able to get 53, but 52.5 is hanging right now, and I want it. Nathan Cerna says, might have to tail that Nolly Knows. And Jacksonville Zoe says, Nolly's sharp. Always enjoy Nolly's capping. I love it. I absolutely love it. There is our guy, Nolly Knows. I'm going to move on to CFL football, just one game on the card, a rare Wednesday nighter. But let's send our guy Nolly Knows into the future and thank him for everything. Let's review his action one more time. Nolly Knows is on the Marlins first 5 at -125, the first 5 under 4.5 at +100 in Rangers Yankees, and the first 5 under 5.5 in Rockies Dodgers. Then in college football, he's on the under 56.5 in Middle Tennessee Charlotte, and the under 53 in Liberty Syracuse. Nolly, thank you for sharing all of your hard work with us. We can't wait to have you back on the show Friday. Follow this man on Twitter at Nolly Knows. He's a great follow. Any last words, Nolly?
Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around, and hopefully we can cash some tickets, man. Bet those unders.
There he is, a man making unders great again. Nolly Knows. All right, we move on to CFL football, baby. CFL football. Let me move that here. And nice little 2-1 week last week. Puts us slightly in the black. Only 11 bets in, which is fine. There was no season last year, so we don't need to force everything. DJ Big Boss says Middle Tennessee quarterback quit. Jesus, did that just happen?
That happened this weekend when UTSA, the University of Texas at San Antonio, Jimmy, remember that, proud alumni here, beat the fuck out of him, and then he quit football.
And is that Chase Cunningham that quit? Okay. Jesus. Thank you, Jose. Chase Cunningham quit. Okay, I'm going to have to obviously...
That was Bailey Hockman.
Oh, it's Bailey Hockman. Okay. Bailey Hockman. So, yeah. So, it's still Chase Cunningham that's going to be the go-to guy. Okay. It probably should have been brought up, but I was focusing on Cunningham anyways. Make America Great Again, saying UTSA. Jose, our producer's alma mater as well. Okay, let's go into this football game here in CFL. And I've had a tough time with this Ottawa Red Blacks football team. And it has always been predicated on trusting them a little too much. And I hate that this has moved to 6.5 now. This opened at 9.5 this morning. Jesus, Bet365 was not offering it. And now it opens at 9.5 and goes down to 6.5 already. Damn it. I have missed my opportunity on Ottawa. God, that's a fast move. This total opened up at 44.5 and is at 44. Look, I don't want to trust the Ottawa Red Blacks, But what do we know about the Hamilton Ticats is they're excellent at home, and they've not looked good on the road. And now this is a very short week for the Ticats, and the Red Blacks are coming off of a bye. If the Red Blacks can't put this together, fire everybody. 65 Fahrenheit rain, 6 miles per hour is the wind. It's rainy and wet, and it makes me think that this game will go under the total because the Red Blacks have now had a lot of time to focus on how to stop David Watford, the ex-Hampton quarterback, the third stringer for the Ticats, who's now starting. Maxwell Smart says they will score first and win the race to 10. Maxwell Smart. And are you talking about the Red Blacks here, Maxie? Please jump in if you can. So Hamilton enters week 8. They just beat the Stampeders at home last Friday, 23-17. We were on them. Slatsy says should be pissing rain tonight, and third string up for the Cats on the under 44. That does make sense to me. So they're without Dane Evans and Jeremiah Masoli. They just signed Jalen Morton for more security. Watford was so good in that game against the Stamps, and I expected him to be. This guy's been on the Tiger Cats now for 3 years. And when I say so good, I don't mean he was electric. I mean, he made no mistakes. He's a mobile quarterback, and the key to win in football is to not turn the ball over, and that was hammered in his ear. He went 19 of 22. He didn't risk. He got 149 passing yards. He also had 35 yards on 10 carries on the ground. It's this Hamilton defense that is so good. They're holding teams to under 20 points a game. They're averaging 18.7. That's the third fewest in the league. And this Red Blacks team got destroyed 45-13 against the BC Lions in week 6. They've been destroyed and embarrassed. Dominique Davis has looked pretty good at quarterback. 624 yards, 3 touchdowns, 53 of 84. And rookie wideout Ryan Davis looks very good. Maxwell Smart says first half under. Watford yard passing under. Hamilton score first and Hamilton to 10. Arthur Meade Jr. on the Hamilton team total under. I can't do that. And I like it. I just can't trust this Red Blacks football team right now. And I wish that the 8 was hanging on the board. Can you believe that Bet 365 has gone from 9.5 to 6.5 in 4 hours? God, where the hell was I? The Arthur Meade Jr.'s look on the Tiger Cats team total under does warrant a look for me right now. Let's just move over here to this spot. The Tiger Cats at 26.5. They do not need to score 26.5 points to win this game. That might be a great look. Max is also taking Hamilton minus 6.5 and the winning margin 1-6. Interesting. I think that the full game under is the spot I will be focusing on. Full game under 44, and I just wish that I wasn't so late to this Red Black party that could lose. Look, from a situational standpoint, with Hamilton using their third stringer and Ottawa coming off of a bye and Hamilton having 5 days to prepare for this game, everything points to the Red Blacks having a good showing here. Everything. But I can't take the ass end of this spread now, and I wish I didn't need to talk it. I should have just bet it. I should have just fucking bet it. This is extremely irritating. Damn it. Under 44 for me. Full game under 44 in Hamilton, Ottawa Red Blacks. And there is your show. Thank you guys all so much for rolling with us. The CFL Corner. And we're 6-5. It's okay. But we'll end up winning. We beat CFL marginally every year, so let's beat it again. All right, let's review action for the entire card. Maxie, thank you for sharing your CFL looks with us. Maxie says Jimmy should go kill a pigeon. Arthur Meade Jr. says take a deep breath and hug your child. Jesus, Arthur Meade Jr., do you know? Are you standing behind me right now? Is something terrible about to happen? Okay, here we go. Pirates Reds was canceled. I'm on the under 9 in Toronto, Tampa Bay Rays. Under 9 in Toronto, Tampa Bay Rays. I'd sure love to be on the Royals, but I don't think that game is going to be played. This Philly spot, I got to let go. I've just got to let go. I can't take a Phillies first 5 minus 1.5 and minus 115. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if it cashes, but I've got to let it go. I'm on the Red Sox first 5 minus 1.5 minus 135. Very nervous about this pick. It looks like sharps are on the Mets. Chris Sale over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 113 is Jose say, hey, play of the day. I'm on the first 5 under 3.5 at minus 120 Minnesota Twins, Chicago Cubs. I believe that the wind was going to be 24 miles per hour in, and Deacon Mike was looking at the Wrigley Field cam, and it looks like it's slightly out, which would absolutely screw me. Then TJ says the St. Louis first 5 team total over and the full game team total over is a gift. And the pimp slap play today, St. Louis first 5 under 5, and I'm off Cardinals Brew Crew. Deacon Mike, I can promise you that I am not working out right now, and that I am grinding to the late hours in the night to cap and have all of this ready for you guys. And it's with football here, it's a battle. I'm adding the over 9.5 in Astros Angels. I'm adding the under 8.5 in Mariners A's, and Seattle first 5 plus a half is the pimp slap play of the day. Gamblers first glance is Padres money line minus 110. Nutflush Allen and Sammy Culmer are both on the Giants team total over 4.5. Nolly Knows is on the Marlins first 5, which I'm very interested in. TJ's play of the day is Miami Washington over 7.5. Nolly Knows is on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 100. Rangers Yankees I want in. I'm just not sure if I'm taking the 4.5 or the 5. And then he's on the first 5 under 5.5 in Dodgers Rockies. So am I. It's already been bet. The spreadsheet play of the day is the Dodgers, and Taint play of the day is Bueller over 5.5 Ks. Tron Hopkins, give me my prop play of the day, is on Yankees Texas under 9. Nolly is on the under 56.5 in Middle Tennessee. Charlotte, and he's on the under 53 in Liberty, Syracuse Orange. I want in on both. I like the breakdowns. It correlates with exactly the way I was feeling. I'm going to roll with them. And on the CFL, I'm also on an under 44 in Hamilton, Ottawa, Red Blacks. Maxwell Smart says UTSA wins this week. I got the best of the number. Thank you guys for everything that you do for this show. You guys make it special. And, I get so excited to get – and also, when I wake up at the crack of dawn after, 4 hours of sleep, I don't wake up angry. I'm pumped up. I want to do this work. I want to cap with you guys. I enjoy it immensely, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much. There is Melissa Miller. I haven't seen her in too long. Real Deal Prime. Ray Charles, thank you for watching and supporting the NFL show. It's up right now. We're running white hot 21-8. Top Set. Deacon Mike, Arthur Meade Jr., Ricky Levine, Nathan Cerna, Maxwell Smart, Brian Watson, Slatsy, baby, Birdie. What a great group. Jacksonville Zoe, Truth back in action. My guy, DX Filer, using his gifts to his. I miss you guys. I love you guys. Let's cash. Let's eat. And let's meet here again tomorrow and do the exact same thing over again. On behalf of Jose, myself, and everybody at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys for watching. Let's get paid in full. Let's say, hey, Los Bookmakers!